COVID-19 was a grueling test for every nation on the planet, but it also gave us inspiration that human ingenuity can overcome the biggest of challenges. In business, that ingenuity involved the rapid adoption of new technologies, enabling businesses to keep their workers together even when the offices were closed, and keep serving customers even when stores were shuttered. We might look back on 2020 as the year of the great technology acceleration, a year in which we took leaps forward in the way that we do business and the way that we work together. In this presentation, I want to talk about three things. First of all, just how much technology was adopted in 2020. Secondly, what does that new technology mean for our business performance and resilience? And third, how will that technology impact us in the future? So first of all, how much technology was adopted during the great technology acceleration of 2020? Well, think first just about web presence. So many businesses are not even online. As far back as 2010, only 43% of businesses had a web presence, mostly dragged back by many of the small businesses that are not online. By 2018, that had jumped to 54.5%, but in 2020, it leapt to 77%. So in just 1 year, we had as much progress as we'd had in the previous 10 years of going online. Similarly, in social media presence, we had a 3-year leap in 2020 alone, as much progress in 1 year as we had in the previous 3. Businesses placing orders online, receiving orders online, adopting digital HR systems, digital marketing processes, and digital stock control processes. All of those had an increase in adoption of between 3 and 10 years in a single year, a massive acceleration. And nowhere was that acceleration greater than in collaboration tools. For example, video conferencing and online event platforms increased a lot through COVID, particularly like 34% of businesses used those technologies a lot more. VPN and remote access solutions, e-signatures and other document management tools, and file sharing solutions all rapidly accelerated through 2020. So what does this new technology mean for business performance and resilience? It wasn't just an add-on, it wasn't just an extra thing that happened during COVID. It was critical to the performance of businesses through that challenging period. Nearly 9 out of 10 businesses said that the digital technologies they had were essential for them continuing to operate through COVID. This was particularly strong in financial services, in education and training, and media and telcos, where between 13 and 20% of businesses said they wouldn't have been able to open their doors if it hadn't been for digital technologies. Digital technologies didn't just enable businesses to stay open, it actually enabled them to improve their performance. If we separate businesses into those that had a lot of digital tools and adopted new technologies and those that didn't, we saw the former category performed much better through COVID. Those businesses that were more digitally advanced, they were 16% more likely to have their revenues rise during COVID and 6% less likely to have their revenues fall. Those digitally advanced businesses were 15% more likely to see their employment go up, actually hiring new workers rather than losing workers, and 12% more likely to see their productivity improve. So businesses that adopted new technologies were more resilient and had a stronger performance through COVID. And this was particularly true for businesses that had a lot of their workers working from home. In education, the finance industry, professional services, media and telecommunications, all of those industries where there are a lot of workers who are working from home during COVID describe technology as being critical to their crisis resilience and performance. Most importantly, COVID was a time when many jobs were at risk. If that COVID crisis had occurred 10 years earlier, we would have seen a lot more jobs gone. But because of these digital technologies, many businesses were able to continue employing their workers in a home environment. Nearly 34% of all workers who would otherwise have been unemployed as a result of the crisis were able to continue to work because of digital technologies, saving millions of jobs around the world. If this new technology enabled us to improve digital performance through COVID, what will it mean for the future? There's been a lot of speculation about whether we'll continue to work from home, whether everybody will come back into the office or somewhere in between. But what does the data really tell us? Well, first of all, what we know is that much of the digital technology increase through COVID is likely to be permanent. Businesses said that they're much more likely to increase their use of video conferencing and online event platforms. VPN and remote access solutions be increasingly important. Businesses expressed a continued desire to use e-signatures, file sharing solutions, cloud storage, cybersecurity, e-commerce and payment platforms, and artificial intelligence. In particular, there was a large desire amongst many businesses to extend that investment during COVID beyond COVID. And nearly 85% of businesses said that they wanted to increase their investment in digital technologies, particularly AI, cloud computing, and data storage. Where is this money going to come from? Well, COVID also gave businesses the opportunity to observe areas where they could gain efficiencies. There's going to be less investment in real estate going forward, less investment in many parts of firms' physical operations. And already, lots of firms are identifying the opportunity to take those savings and reinvest them in their digital future. What will this mean for the great work from home trend of 2020? Lots of workers have expressed a desire to come back into the office. Other workers might prefer to be staying at home. But the real critical decider here will be whether or not workers' productivity can be strong while they're not in the office. What the data shows is that when you look at businesses through COVID, about 25% of businesses saw a decline in their workforce productivity, and about the same number saw an increase in their workforce productivity. So there wasn't anything about working from home per se that increased or decreased workforce productivity. It was pretty much a washout. But the real difference came when you divided those firms by whether or not they were adopting digital tools or not. Those firms that were adopting digital tools were far more likely to be in the improving workforce productivity category. And the reason for that was that those firms that had those digital tools were much better on collaboration, much better at enabling their workers to continue to access the information and connections inside their office that they needed to do their work properly. But the other thing we discovered in the data was that it's not just about technology. It wasn't just about ensuring people had a laptop they could take home, a home office setup, connection to the internet, and the ability to access their online tools. There was a huge human experience around the working from home phenomenon, which determined whether or not it was a good experience or a bad experience. Many businesses made changes around their technology to ensure that their workers were able to work successfully from home. These were things like changing policies for working hours, new initiatives to increase social connectivity, new initiatives to support physical and mental health, increased IT support for staff who are working from home, new training measures to help staff working remotely, additional investment in IT, new management and reporting structures, and importantly, new pastoral care and social opportunities. And the firms that did that, the firms that added the human wraparound, the human dimension to working from home, well, they didn't just change their technology, they changed their policies and the way they worked. That's where we saw the real productivity growth. Firms that were able to wrap a digital technology solution inside a new way of working were 3 times more likely to have higher productivity during COVID than firms that did not. So what does this tell us for the future? Well, first of all, 2020 will be a year that we look back on as the great technology acceleration. Across many areas of technology, more than 10 years of progress was made in a single year in getting firms, particularly small firms, online and using digital tools. Secondly, we saw that those digital tools make a difference to the resilience and the performance of the firms that use them. 9 out of 10 businesses said that digital tools were important for their continued business continuity. And so many firms said that they were able to increase their performance by delivering through digital tools, even in the worst of times in the depths of the pandemic. And finally, we learned that there's a human edge to technology. When we wrap around the technology, new ways of working that maintain social connectivity, that maintain the ability for workers to get experiences and training and casual interaction and positive feedback, all in a work from home environment, then their productivity was not just equal, but even stronger than it was pre-COVID. And that gives us hope for the future, that we can get the best out of COVID from the work from home experience that so many people found to be a positive force in their work-life balance, but also deliver effective workplaces for the future. And these digital technologies are reconciling those two objectives and maybe providing a ray of hope or a silver lining out from a terrible experience for so many of us through COVID-19.